watching a CBG TV content provider broadcast.
The opinions expressed during this show are those of the individual participants and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of their associated organizations or CBGTV.com. The medical and health information shared does not constitute a physician-patient relationship. It is provided for general informational and educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional care.
You're gonna get so high because we're pot smoking. I said we're getting high because we're pot smoking. We're gonna get so high because we're pot smoking. That's right, we're getting high because we're pot smoking. Good morning, sunshine. How you feeling?
Good morning and good afternoon to everybody out there. It is the Cannabis Chronicles. How are you, Dr. Handsome?
I'm doing good. You?
I'm all right. I'm okay.
Good.
I've had a pretty rough week, I'll tell you honestly. It's been a very stressful week for me. But but I'll get through it. Life goes on. You know what I mean?
That's no fun.
Yeah, it's all right. Life goes on. Anyway, what's new with you?
Not too much. I'm just trying to put together a promotional video so we can get as many little video clips from people puff passing.
Is that thing still going? Is it getting viral yet or what?
Well, I don't know, but what I'm going to try and do is work with Zen and all of us here, and hopefully you can get this done too.
Yeah.
Because I'd like to produce one of these, a big one that we can run on New Year's Day. So
let's make it the New Year's Day puff pass.
New Year's Day puff pass challenge.
I just
so that we're not going to be on the air New Year's Day.
I will,
but we can go live with a puff pass challenge. So maybe we can get 2 hours of clips that we can put together.
And just run it live.
And just run it. Puff pass challenge
from all over the world, Martin. That means we need you to get on it. Puff pass. We need all of our friends in the UK. We need all of our friends in China and Germany.
Everywhere where they're smoking the good stuff.
All those freaks in the South that we were talking about earlier with your pets. Your bestiality.
I missed that conversation.
Oh yeah, we were talking about the top. Do you know that it's allowed? Bestiality is okay in Hawaii.
What, do they think animals don't have feelings?
No, they have feelings. That's what's good about it, I think. They feel it when you're putting it in their ass. I don't know. But that's what don't quote me, but Mr. Eustick said that. I don't trust anything he says, but
because I heard that the only
something's funky going on here. I hear music in the background. I hear
that's my son trying to call me.
That son of a gun. Your voice has gotten lower. Tell him you're busy. No, you
call
should
me
check
on my other phone. I don't know he's calling on this one, but
check and make sure he's okay. Maybe he needs to be checked on.
Oh.
I don't like when kids. I don't like when our kids call and you can't answer. I'm like, I gotta answer. I gotta go. This could be dangerous. No. Could be something bad.
You never know.
Hopefully it's not. That's what I'm saying. He may have been in a car accident and he needs you. That's why I say you have to check. You have to check. Text him.
How much good I'd be at this point.
Text him, damn it. All right. Good afternoon to everybody over there. I see all my friend Andrew. I see Seed Squatch. I see Sky Daddy. I see Doug Hughes. I see Kelly Collins. I see Sky Daddy again, I guess. I see all of our friends. I saw up in the beginning, Larissa. How are you? Good morning. Everybody up there in the top that first came in. Let me go back up. Lori, good morning. And Like I said, Andrew and Frank. Hi, Francis. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I heard a bunch of people are starting to put their tings in for tailored herbs and concentrates. Bong competition that's going
I
on.
saw Lori's.
Lori did a great job. I thought hers was very
Yep.
pretty.
I saw Lori's.
Yeah, she just should have muted herself. I don't know.
Huh.
I don't know if I'd eat that after the hacking I heard there. Ugh. I don't know what might have landed on that fucking cupcake. Ugh. I think I saw a piece of lung.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. It's okay, though. Zen Wushu in the house. Woo woo.
Zen Wushu.
All right, so Dr. Hi, we have our friend here today. Her name is Kim.
Yes.
Did you read
And from what I understand, Kim has used cannabis medicinally.
Yup.
So,
Yeah, from medicinally, but also there's a lot. Did you not read what I sent you, bro? You slacker.
oh, yeah, about the Epidiolex and that with her son?
Yeah, with her son and all that stuff.
Yep.
You
Yep,
just
I
made me
did.
open my phone so I could read it all to you. But all right, you do
That's
that.
it. Good
All right.
morning,
Well,
everybody.
Yeah, we got to say our good mornings. We're gonna have her up right after our 420 song, so we're gonna kill a little more time, Dr. Hi.
Nice.
What's new? What you said? So we're gonna try. Zen's here now, so you might want to tell him, Zen. We're going to do this now. We're going to try to make a 2-hour long video. So you're going to have to get a lot of people to smoke doobie.
Well, I sent Zen my video this morning.
Oh, you're
and I didn't play around too much, and it was 17 seconds, right? So we only need about 5 of them for every minute.
Okay, so let's do the math here. 5
That's,
per minute.
That's 600.
600 of them. Whoa. Let's do Pussycat. That's like one of my favorite songs, Larissa. I knew I loved you.
600.
600 videos we need.
Yeah.
617-second videos. All right, everybody get on it.
I don't know if we'll get that many, but I think it'll be pretty cool because this is the kind of thing people get into. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it'll be, huh?
I said, yeah, it's weed.
But I think Zen's idea was awesome. I just think we need to use the power of community to make it really go big.
Yeah.
You know?
It's got to go viral. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think it would be pretty cool if we could do that.
Yeah.
That's what we're down for, Zen. Growing it as big as we can. Bigger is better. Not that it's not great already.
Yeah, that's what she said. And then she got a little piece of me. And she was like,
it's kind of funny, right? They always say size doesn't matter, but I'm not so sure that's true.
Oh, she said tiny is good when I was finished. And I said, sweetie, it's not the size of the wand. There's a magician behind it.
That's right.
Yeah, I've been saying that most of my life.
Yeah. Spoken like a true Irishman.
Yep, that's me. Irish and French Canadian. Take off, eh?
Take off, eh?
Yeah, Irish and French Canadian. I think I got a little German in me somewhere on that Irish side.
Oh,
but
good thing you're not a drinker.
I was a professional for quite some time.
Yeah.
But then I remembered how great my parents were, and I was like, you know what? That's not probably what I want to do. So I quit it. I was like, no more drinking. I don't want to be like them. You always want to try to be better than your parents, right? So
yeah. Well, I mean, it depends, right? If your dad is like Bill Gates, maybe you want to just be as good as. You know?
True. I guess if Bill Gates,
I guess it all depends on the example that they set for you, right?
Yeah. I guess.
So,
my dad said the example of drinking was cool. I've gone to change that to smoking weed is cool.
Yeah.
And
smoking weed never really infringes on.
Neither of my kids have drank alcohol. They're both one's 20. I mean, my daughter's 23, and she occasionally will have a drink with her friends, but she doesn't drink on a regular. Like when I was when I was 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, maybe I stopped, but from 14 on, I was drinking pretty much every day as much as I could. Neither of my children don't even go out to drink. Like, we used to hide in the woods and drink, that was like what we did.
Oh, yeah, we did that. I mean,
I don't know. Maybe it's all kids these days. They don't just drink as much as they used to when we were kids. But
we've done bush parties.
Fuck, keg parties every day.
Yeah,
we would find that
we
neighborhood
bush
bum
parties.
who was looking down on his luck, and we'd be like, "Yo, go buy us a keg, and we'll throw you an extra $20. You can go get yourself some burgers, bruh." And he was like, sounds like a deal." And then we'd get a keg and we'd put it in our shopping cart, and we'd head to the pit.
Jeez.
We'd get lit.
The pit. That's funny. We had a place we called the pit too.
Yeah, we hung out in the pit. It was a big sand pit in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the woods, and we'd bring cars down there and burn them and hang out and have bonfires and get loaded and smoke weed. Kind of like Fast Times at Ridgemont High kind of feel to it, like it's like the party, and you're walking around and everybody's hanging out, partying. You go to different little groups and everybody's chilling.
That was our generation, like when I watch Fast Times at Ridgemont High, or I watch what's that other great stoner one from that time?
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
that was another good one.
I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head right now.
Dazed and Confused, sir. I just said it.
Dazed and Confused. That's right. Yeah, I mean, those were what high school was for.
That was what it was.
Me.
And like now, kids just sit around, they come home, they get high, and they go on their computer and they play with their computer.
Yeah, like it was really well orchestrated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When we were young.
Yeah. We had the pit, and somebody would put a car. It was never me. I never was involved with the car burning stuff. I was kind of a shy young man, believe it or not.
Oh yeah.
So I kind of hung with my own little crowd over in my corner and just tried not to get beat up or get into a fight with somebody that I didn't want to be in a fight with, because there was all walks of life there at the pit. You know what I mean?
My son is a dreamer.
He said, "Can you send me $3,000, Daddy?"
No, he has a trip in Ontario. He's got his Christmas party in Ontario on Saturday night. He wants to take our car. Fuck that.
Why not, Daddy?
Huh?
Why not, Daddy?
Because we have one.
And he doesn't have any?
Yeah, he's got a car.
So he'll drop his off and he'll take yours.
His car breaks down all the time.
Right. He wants to be able to make it to the party, Daddy. He doesn't want to show up with all his friends in the POS.
You know what? Daddy's not giving his one and only vehicle to his son, who's only been driving for 4 or 5 months, to go to a Christmas party in another province.
That's true. I forget that he's not as old as your daughter. I keep forgetting he's the same age as my son, right? He's like 18 so, right?
And especially to a fucking party in
a party where
400 miles away, 300 miles away, right?
And he's gonna go get sober up, kid. Yeah, dumbass. Tell him to get on.
I'm gonna have to ask him, are you drunk already?
Can we bring him on the show? Because I'd love to meet him sometime. And meet the young little high.
The little high, yeah. He's a good kid though.
Overall,
he's got his head on right. You know what I mean? Like, that's one thing I got to say about him. He does have his head screwed on right. That's for sure.
Yeah, you've always said that. Yeah. He's the smarter one of the two. Your daughter is the prettier one of the two. That's the thing I've heard. I've never got to see or meet them. I saw your two daughters in that one photo that Garrett pulled up yesterday, if I remember correctly, of you when you were buff back in the day when we first met.
Oh yeah. No, those weren't my daughters, but
no, but that day I called them your daughters. I was like, oh,
right.
Dr. High and his two daughters are behind him in the forest.
Yeah. You make Dr. High sound like a bit creepy.
His two daughters in the pumpkin patch.
Yeah. I'm not from Georgia, you know.
I'm sure the beanbag has already taught everybody to give me the finger. So it's time for our commercial break. So we're going to take a commercial break. We'll be right back, and then we're going to play our 420 song. And then finally, like an hour, we're going to bring our friend Kim up to join us. And we're going to talk drugs.
Nice.
Yes, I'm excited. I love talking drugs. All right, we'll be right back. Run it, beanbag.
Have you ever pondered cannabis beyond the haze? Would you like to know more about this incredible plant? Dive into drhi.com. Unlock medical wonders, master home-based crafts, and debunk myths. Do you support our mission? Shop Dr. Hi AI Haze on Etsy for cannabis-themed clothing, mugs, and digital downloads using original AI cannabis art. Hell, we might even have some psychedelic mushroom items there too. We also have 25 books on cannabis and specific medical conditions available at Dr. Hi on Amazon.com. DrHi.com, cannabis information, education, and advocacy.
Announcing CBGTV's Bud Break book. Get your copy now. Detailed strain reviews. Every purchase supports the ongoing efforts of CBGTV. Available from Amazon and at cbgtv.com or scan the QR code.
Say bye-bye to bottled water. Holistic Health Water has certified medical-grade water ionizers that make 7 types of water, including healthy alkaline. There's a 5-micron filter that lasts up to a year, and each machine lasts 25 to 30 years. Simply attach to your faucet or install under your sink. Even get a mineral spa unit for your shower. Go to ownyourwater.org to get a free ebook. Plus, pay for any machine in full and get an extra filter free. Change your water and change your life. Ownyourwater.org.
Discover the natural path to wellness at Tailored Herbs and Concentrates.
Herbs?
With a passion for holistic health, we are your trusted source for premium herbs and concentrates.
Wait a minute, do they have weed?
Our dedicated team is here to guide you on your wellness journey. Open 7 days a week, 10 to 10, ensuring you have access to what you need when you need it most. Tailored Herbs and Concentrates is located
Their pot
2941 Highway 11, Burnt Church, New Brunswick, Canada. If you need assistance anytime,
I need assistance. I need weed.
Just call 506-871-4299. Tailored Herbs and Concentrates.
Where all the potheads go.
WTHC, good afternoon, everybody. It's 12:18 over here on the East Coast. I want to give a big shout out to everybody out there on Live 365 and TuneIn. And if you happen to be one of those listeners out there in the New Brunswick, Canada area, Burnt Church to be exact, head on over to Tailored Herbs and Concentrates, where today it is Double Stamp Tuesday. Go on in, get your little purchase, buy yourself a pack of papers or something, get your card stamped twice, get an immediate response with a handful. Oh, that's wrong. Get handed one free Moonrock joint.
Moonrocks.
I had a brain fart there for a second. One free Moonrock joint for Double Stamp Tuesday. Yeah, so go in, get your card stamped twice. If you already have 2, and then you get 2 more, you might get 2 free Moonrock joints. I don't know how that shit works, man. I'm going to start sending my card up there to get it stamped every Tuesday.
That's right.
Bothead, stamp my card and send it back to me. Anyway,
that's the way to do it.
Strain of the day today, which is Planet of the Grapes. Planet of the Grapes.
That sounds good.
Shout out Planet of the Grapes while you're in there as well, and you're going to get a free pre-roll of regular marijuana. So, yeah, that's pretty cool.
That actually sounds good.
So what I'm thinking is go in for like 50 cents because you guys' money is cheaper than ours down here. Go in there for 50 cents, pick yourself up a pack of papers, get your card stamped twice, tell them Planet of the Grapes, and walk your ass out of there with 2 joints and a pack of papers for later.
Yeah, that's for sure. Our money has a lot less value than yours.
Happy 420 to everybody out there. You're hanging on the Cannabis Chronicles with Da.Hippie and Dr. Hi, and our friend Kim is going to be joining us in just seconds. Welcome in, everybody. Good afternoon and good morning.
Hey, Zen, if you could you send me your Puff Puff Pass video alert in Messenger, please, so I could download it? I want to get that in the promotional video so people know what to do.
I need to get a grinder so I could do the grind. We're shaking in my grinder. We're shaking in my
That's
grinder.
good, eh?
My grinder is homemade by a friend of mine, and it's very heavy. It's made of steel. Boys can steal a grinder for me. I never had no funky shit like this before. I ain't never had no funky shit like this. A nice view of Dr. High's boogers. Thank you. He put you live and it came up and you got that view of looking up at you. And he put you as big in here. And it was.
You don't see any powder or anything, do you?
No, you're
Good.
You're good. You're good. All your Mylanta went down.
There you go.
How you do, Buckaroo? What's shaking this? I love this song. I know you didn't mean to do it. What you want? I want the for the show up front. The true email, Doc.
Oh, perfect. Thanks, Zen. A true email.
Hell, after my comments, why are they not working? There they go. Welcome to the show that never ends. I feel like it never ends. Good morning, everybody. It is time. We cannot wait. I can't wait no longer. Please, everybody, give a big round of applause for our friend Kim. Oh, Jesus, you don't even clap that hard for me, you guys, for crying out loud. Good morning, Kim. Thank you so much for joining us. Can you hear us okay? We can't hear you, though.
Yes.
Can you hear her?
No.
I was going to say, maybe it's my
I
head.
could not.
Let me put a Q-tip in. Hold on. No, I don't have any control over it. I guess you might have to jump back out and jump back in. We're here. We love you. Beaner, you're in charge of figuring that out. I don't know. Help her. I don't know. But that's not good. Welcome back, everybody. I was not prepared for this. Dr. High, help me. Stop staring out the window. Hello? Oh, I can hear you. Yeah.
There we go.
Awesome.
I was not prepared. I had nothing prepared. I was like, uh-oh. So, Kim, how are you? Nice to see you again. I know Kim from our Discord. She hangs out with us. She's a new
nice
member on the Discord, yeah. So I didn't know that this was the Kim we were having on, but I'm very excited to hear more about Kim because I've learned some about Kim in the back on the Discord, but not everything. I know she's a very talented artist. I know she has a big gig coming up soon, right?
Nice.
Yeah.
I saw that you own an ink shop. It's a tattoo shop that you own.
No. I'm a painter. I'm an artist. And
okay.
The ink is India ink.
Okay. Nice.
I have to say, I absolutely love your hair. It looks wonderful. Is that Grover?
Oh, that's beautiful.
Is that Grover?
Grover?
I saw a blue Grover doll. Did it look like a blue Grover? I could only in that painting. No? Okay.
No.
I think you're having a flashback, hippie.
I'm tripping. It's okay. I had mushrooms. I thought I saw Grover. Anyway.
No, Grover.
All right. Yeah, but you're a very talented artist. You're a part of a whole package of friends that I've met recently, including Katie and a bunch of others that are all artists, Kerry and Wanderlust, all wonderful artists. And I'm very blessed to have met all of you, and I appreciate you being a part of our family.
Katie and I.
Yeah, I love art, so I've always been a fan of art. I'm an okay drawer, but not really. And I don't have patience, so it gets really rough for somebody with no patience to screw something up and then have to go back and do it again. And no, I can't. I throw it.
It's a great talent to have, though. Like, it's pretty cool to be able to have those.
See some of the art that these ladies, Dr. High, if you could see some of the, like, your AI art is nothing on this shit.
Oh, no. AI art is AI art. It's not the same thing as somebody who actually creates art. It might make some cool, easy images for somebody who has no capacity to be able to do so themselves, but I don't think it can compete with a real artist.
Yeah, but there's drawing, and then there's these ladies. That's what I'm trying to get by. Like, there's art, and then there's this. And these guys are amazing. Anyway, we're not here to talk about, well, we are here to talk about your art as well. I don't want to say that. But we're here because you have some experience with marijuana or CBD and stuff like that. So we want to hear your story.
Yeah.
And take your time because we got like 2 hours. So take your time. Start out if you were a small child or something.
Well, as a history, both my son and I are epileptic. And he's what they call intractable, which means they're having trouble controlling his seizures. And we've been through numerous medications, and we finally landed on, he's on 5 different medications, but one of the ones he takes is Epidiolex, and Epidiolex happens to be the first FDA approved CBD-based medication for epilepsy. Actually, the first FDA approved medication.
Now, is that something that they just approved recently? Or is that something that they've always had and I'm just hearing about it for the first time?
Well, he's been on it for a couple years, but we got it when it was freshly approved. So
but in the last, however long, medical marijuana and things like that have actually started to come out. Because I also have a friend who is an epileptic all his life. And, we were young children. When he turned 13, all of a sudden he just started having seizures on a pretty much a regular basis.
Yeah.
And I never heard, I knew a lot about him. He was my best friend, still is one of my best friends, And so I never heard of that medicine. And I thought maybe, but this is back in the 80s and 90s when we were children. I'm hoping that, unfortunately for him, they've only just started coming out with it and fortunately for your son, they've started coming out with it.
Right.
So, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, So he takes that, and my other son has anxiety, so he uses THC to help calm that. And I broke my back last year, so I medicate because I watched my husband take opiates for pain, and he didn't do well, and so I don't want to go that direction. So I'd rather do
Right.
Yeah,
THC.
I was the same way. I was in a bad car accident myself, and I saw people who had made bad decisions with pain medication. Luck
Mhm.
for me, it was after the opiate crisis, or at least the opiate crisis was being saw and was being recognized. So I said, "This is not something I'm interested in," and I told them to take their pills and shove them up their ass. And they were fighting me in the hospital because I was like, "No, I don't want your damn pain pills. Just give me my vape pen and I'll be all right." And they were like, "Sir, your leg is broken in half. You're gonna need some pain pills." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"For now, but get them off of me as soon as possible." And they did. And
Yeah.
Mississippi may or may not have snuck a vape pen into the hospital while I spent the next 6 months in there learning how to walk and live again. But yes, go ahead. Sorry, Kim.
No, that's crazy. But yeah, so we have a pretty decent dispensary here in town, and so I'll get some canna butter. My son loves to make to bake with it, and
Oh, nice. Nice. When did you use cannabis prior to your injury? Have you always been a cannabis user, or was
um
cannabis something you turned to when you had the need to overcome a challenge at that time?
I started using cannabis, like mainly sativas, microdosing to help with creativity during the day when I'm painting.
Okay.
So when I broke my
Never
back,
heard of microdosing weed. That is amazing. That's a great idea. My wife, don't tell her because she'll be like, "You should microdose weed," and I'll be down to a gram a day for crying out loud. That's
no,
not good. I don't like that word. Don't associate microdosing with weed. No, so I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, no, I don't want to get completely,
I get it. Yeah, I get it.
but it was available, when I broke my back, and I didn't want to go down the
Opiate route.
Right.
yeah.
So let me ask you a question. How old are your, if you don't mind, how old are your sons?
21 and 32.
All right. So 21, which one's the one that has the seizures, if you don't mind?
21-year-old.
The younger one. Okay.
Mhm.
So how long has he been participating with marijuana, or, like in the
Well,
last 2 or 3 years? I only ask because we've never really had a discussion about how parents feel about having to put their children on marijuana and things like that. I feel like that's something that we could actually talk to you about because your son,
yeah.
was he a marijuana user prior to, becoming, I mean, he's always had seizures since birth?
No, he didn't start having seizures till he turned 10.
Okay. Usually it happens around puberty, right? That's what I
Yeah.
hear, a little
Personally, I
before.
having him since I was very little in the crib and whatnot, so
Okay.
that was strange. It's a
Now,
congenital.
I was gonna say, is it hereditary or it can be passed down to your family members,
Yeah,
unfortunately?
yeah.
Yeah.
But, like I said, he turned 10. We didn't realize there was an issue till he turned 10.
They start out as petite mal seizures, like eyes rolling back in his head, or all grand mal
No,
boom out of nowhere?
he was like full body grand mal seizure the
Yeah.
first one out of the gate.
That's gotta be the scariest thing. I'm so blessed that both of my children are as healthy as they are. God bless you. I mean, that's gotta be horrible to see for the first time in your life, you've been experienced them, so you knew what was going on, but
It's
for
still
somebody who never has seen that.
right. Well, even, I've seeing seizures is scary, and
Oh my god, I've dealt with the hundreds of them. I
you
was
know,
driving on the highway at, like, 75 miles an hour when my buddy decided to start throwing fists in the car and wanting to fight me.
oh
I'm
yeah.
like, "Dude, calm down, and he's just having a seizure, throwing punches, kicking dashboards, bouncing around. I'm like, "Holy shit, man, I gotta get off the highway," and it's
Well,
scary.
and it's funny you say that because when he had his first seizure, we were actually driving home,
Mhm.
and we were like, getting ready to get off the freeway. And so
Right.
we get off
Yeah.
the freeway, he's having a seizure in the back, and I go straight to the hospital instead of home,
Right.
and
Right. Of course. Yeah.
trying to carry his ass into the hospital.
Well, having a seizure is not
And
that's a feat on its own. I could only imagine.
yeah, and
At what you said, 10 years old, right? So he's a 10-year-old, but he's probably
big guy,
stiff as a board, yeah, arched back, whatever is going on,
wet.
So as a child at 10 years old, marijuana wasn't available. We didn't really know anything at that time, or is that when the beginning
No.
of the stages started, basically, right? I
Well,
mean,
and the medical professionals were able to get me under control, so I had no idea the road we were about to embark on was going to be a difficult one. They couldn't get him under control. I thought he was going to be more like me. I had no idea we were going to struggle with control.
now, do you still have seizures
Yeah,
periodically?
I had one last year. Yeah.
So yearly, because my buddy, he used to have them on I would say monthly, at least a monthly, every month he would have one, and those were the ones that I saw. He wouldn't tell you all the time. He would hide it. He would tell me never to call the hospital, never call an ambulance.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
it's a waste of time and a waste of money. I just need to sleep afterwards. Blah blah blah. Just make sure I don't hurt myself. And then take me and. And I'm like, yeah, but I've experienced probably 100 with that gentleman, and they are some of the scariest things you'll ever see in your life, man. Especially when it's a loved one.
I think the biggest hurdle is making sure they don't get hurt. I mean, most of my son's seizures happened
This is so old.
Shower.
Yeah, I experienced with him twice in the shower. But this one, when he had his first, he was 13 or 12 or so, and we were young teenagers playing hockey at the dead end by our house, and him and I were playing on defense, and the puck just happened to be in the other end. So him and I were kind of just standing there talking, and all of a sudden he just started swinging that stuff. And I was like, dude, what are you doing? There's no bugs around you. And he was like swinging around, and all of a sudden he just fell to the ground. And everybody, there was like 12 of us playing hockey. We all took off running in separate directions and left him laying there on the ground because we had no idea what was going on. And we were all just teenagers, kids, we didn't have no clue. And all of a sudden he's just bouncing around on the ground. And I say that with a joking tone, but it's not something to laugh about. We were, somebody came up, a mom of one of our friends happened to be driving by at the exact moment. So he was able to stop her. She was a nurse or a health aide at a nursing home. And this is how long ago it was. She immediately came over and took her wallet and put it in his mouth.
I know that's a no.
That's from back in the day. That was back in the 80s. They thought you were going to swallow your tongue and you had to worry about that. Now it's more just roll them over, get them on their side because they could, expel fluids from throwing up and, make sure their head's safe, cover their head, hold their head so they don't bang their heads too hard, and just ride it out with them. It's very, very scary, though. Very scary.
It is. And like I said, the water would trigger his, and he would be in the shower and he'd fall. And we had a shower tub. So more times than not, he'd slice the head on the faucet.
Yeah. I've been to the hospital twice on my wife's first Mother's Day. We were he didn't drive because he had seizures. We picked him up to drop him. We were going to drive him over to drop him off at his mom's house so he could go hang with his mom. And, he didn't drive. So he lived around the corner from me. He had his own apartment upstairs. His parents moved out of the house and somebody else bought it, but he stayed in the apartment upstairs. So he still lived in the neighborhood, So my wife and I went to go pick him up. We went up the stairs and there he was. And he had a big gash the size of, I don't know, I can't even, 2 or 3 inches wide on the back of his head from bleeding out. And my wife and I spent our first Mother's Day and Mother's Day, but it was my first Mother's Day with her and our first child. We spent it in the hospital for 8 or 12 hours with him while he was getting taken care of for that. But he needed to go to the hospital. He needed stitches. There was another time, and this is not about me, and I apologize, but there was another time where my house burnt down and I stayed at his house, and we may or may not have stayed up very late partying with some stuff that keeps you up a lot. Anyway, and then we decided it was time to go to bed, but dumbass had to go to work in like 3 hours. And it felt like an hour had passed or whatever. I had barely just fallen asleep, and all of a sudden I heard ba-boom in the bathroom, and I jumped up, and I was like, what the and he was up, and he went to go take a shower to go to work because he had to work in the morning. And there he was on the floor in the bathroom, naked. Ugh. And he's on the floor banging his head between the toilet and the tub. Bang, 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 bang.
Yep.
And I said, this is gross. And I had to reach down and grab his hairy ass legs and pull his naked ass out of the bathroom and then sit there with him while he was having a seizure in his naked ass. I was like, this is too much. I'm too good of a friend for you, man.
How long does a seizure normally last? Like 10 seconds, 60 seconds?
They vary. Petite mole, they could last as 2 seconds. Your eyes roll in the back of your head and they're done. You're back in focus. Some of them are very bad and they can go 2-3 minutes or more. I've never seen 3 or more minutes. I think like 3 is like the most he's like the most I've ever seen. I've seen the woman have it at the store one time and everybody was looking at her and I was like, you got to help her, guys. And I went over and I helped her. She had peed herself. It wasn't a pleasant scene, and everybody was like, oh, look at her. She peed herself. And I'm like, you guys are assholes.
It's like you got an option at that point in time, right?
Yeah, she had no say in it. Go over there and help her instead of standing here watching her. And she's in the middle of the shopping center bouncing around. I said, she's having a seizure, everybody. It's okay. She's not going to, come on, let's help her. And then finally people came and helped. We have to run a commercial. I'm sure the beanbag's getting ready to give me 3 fingers. All right. I got 3 minutes. So if you got anything you'd like to say, I'm so sorry, Kim. I'm talking over you.
Okay. That's okay.
All right. So 3 minutes. So when did you, like I was asking your son, when did you, like, how old was he when he first started using any type of marijuana to help treat his seizures?
He won't use marijuana willingly, just unless it's prescribed to him. I don't know why he's got a thing. Both my kids are autistic, so
there's why they have a thing. Yeah, so that's okay. Yeah. I mean, you have to do what they need. It's all about their quality of life, not ours.
Yeah. Right.
So whatever makes him happy. So there's ways to get it in him however he needs it.
Hi, Carrie. But yeah, so he's been taking that medication for maybe about 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. So, and he's 21 now, so 17-ish, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Yeah,
have you noticed a marked difference in the reaction to a CBD-based medicine as opposed to the traditional medicines that your son would have been taking prior to Epidiolex becoming available?
What is it?
I think the Epidiolex is doing a tremendous job.
Is it Depakote that they had him on originally, or?
Depakote is such an old medication. It's kind of dangerous. It has a lot of side effects.
I know. I remember because they put it on me for quitting smoking, I think.
Yeah.
Or it might have been for crazy. One of them, but I gained a lot of weight. And then there was a lot of other side effects from Depakote. I'm not a big fan of Depakote, especially my buddy Steve was also on Depakote, but that, like I said, was back in I don't know what he's on nowadays.
Yeah, I was on Depakote when I became pregnant with my oldest, and they wanted to abort him, and they didn't even want to look at him because the side effect of the medication was not good for the fetus.
Right.
But
it's not a good medicine. This is not medicine at all.
They still prescribe it though.
I know. I had one of my crazy doctors try to give it to me again recently, and I was like, "Fuck no! You can take that and shove it up your ass and boof it." As far as I'm concerned, because I ain't taking it. Yeah, I had never been fired from a job. They had me on the Depakote and all sorts of good shit. I was like taking one doctor. He was a quack. He must have got paid for prescribing medicines, And he had me on 36 pills a day. He was like, your fat ass can handle a lot. He just started feeding me different pills every day. Next thing I know, I was walking around like a zombie. And I lost my first job ever. I was like, I never get fired from a job. I'm the fucking hardest working man on this side of the Mason-Dixon line, man. I work 18 hours a day now doing this crap. I love this crap. We got to go to a commercial, but we'll be right back, you guys. Thank you, Kim, so much for being here. And I promise I'll give you an opportunity to talk soon.
Don't bet on it.
We'll be right back. You're hanging on the Cannabis Chronicles with Da.Hippie, Dr. High, our friend Kim. And, of course, we're on CBG TV, and we love them. Go over there and like and subscribe, please. I'm not going to tell you again. Go. Badger Heart Puppetry. Badger Heart Puppetry. Badger Heart Puppetry. If you need some kick-ass puppets, contact Thorge at 1-636-234-1535. He has all your puppet needs. He can fix puppets, build puppets, custom-made puppets. He has puppets off the rack for cheap prices. Contact Thorge today at 1-636-234-1535 or on TikTok or Facebook at Badger Heart Puppetry. He also makes LARPing items too.
Are you in the Ellensville or Middletown, New York area? Revamp your space with Collins Paints Ltd. Ugly walls? Let Collins Paints Ltd add a splash of color to your world. Collins Painting is a veteran-owned and operated business. They can transform your space to whatever your heart desires. Say goodbye to the boring beige and hello to possibilities of bright and vibrant colors. The Collins Painting team are a group of skilled professional painters who will turn your vision into reality. Call Collins Paint Ltd today to get a fast and easy quote. Available Monday through Fridays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call them at 845-869-8176.
Hey, Mrs. Hippie, why don't we take a ride to Dauphin, PA today?
Dauphin? What's in Dauphin?
Bella's Badass Crystals.
Oh, but I thought you hang out with them on Facebook and on TikTok.
That's only on Mondays, Tuesdays, Saturdays, Sundays. Today I want to go there and pick up all my great finds.
That sounds like a great road trip. That's Bella's Badass Crystals on TikTok and Facebook, but you can also find them on the top of the mountain in Dauphin, PA.
They are badass.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Are you looking to have some crocheted made by hand stuff like your Grammy used to do for you? Then you need to check out You Have Me Hooked 23 on Etsy and TikTok. Vern can do what you need. She crochets hats, she crochets animals, everything, anything you may need. She also makes vinyl stickers, banners for your business. Anything that you might want that she can do, she can definitely do it for you. Want an I Hate My Ex sticker? She's got you covered. Anything, and I mean anything that you may need. She has cheap and reasonable prices. Check her out. You Have Me Hooked 23 on Etsy and TikTok.
WTHC, welcome back, everybody. Good morning and good afternoon. You're hanging on the Cannabis Chronicles, and I see we have a new friend over there, Danielle. Hi, Danielle. Nice to meet you. We are here every single day, Monday through Friday, from noon until 2 p.m. in the afternoon on the East Coast. So, yes, we will be here after the commercials. We run like 4 commercials throughout the show, and you're here just in time. That was only commercial number 2, so you got another hour
2
and
commercials to go, huh?
Another hour and 15 minutes or so to go. Kim, I got one more thing, and then I'm going to let you talk. You and Dr. High hang out and talk, but I'm stoned, and I'll probably forget by the time I finish telling you this part. Yeah, see, it's gone. No, sleeping was a thing with my friend. We come to find out that whenever my friend would not get enough rest at night, he would wake up the next morning and he would have a seizure. Yep. Is that something that you've noticed as well, or is that anything that, is that part of the
Absolutely.
whole? Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
a lot to do with getting enough sleep. Your body needs to reset, I think.
Yep.
But I'm no doctor. I'm only a physician's assistant. He's the doctor.
Huh. I'm no doctor either, but
All right, then we're both just faking it. Doesn't say doctor nothing in front of my name. So, Kim, I don't know. Go ahead. I'm going to let you talk. You and Dr. High talk because I need to shut up because you're here. I'm not the guest. You are. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, I was just really curious about the changes you've seen since moving over to a CBD medication as opposed to the previous therapies that were used to try and control the epilepsy for your son.
Well, he's on 5 different medications, but
Okay.
so, he hasn't, it's not exclusively the CBD-based
Okay.
medication, however, since being put on the Epidiolex, the control is a lot better. He was having seizures daily. Now it might be he had some over the
Now,
last weekend, but because of rest. But
I promised that I wasn't going to interfere, but here I go again. What about, like, we had a guest on here. I think it was Sister Mary Jane, who had tremors, right? Like some sort of shaking, and an RSO helped her have body control, to help her be able to have control over her body again, to the point where she's out a walking miracle. She was
Yes.
shaking so bad. You remember Dr. High? She was
Yes.
the lady with the nun hat on.
Yep. Well, there's plenty of evidence that cannabis does have benefit when it comes to like antispasmodic qualities, right? People with Parkinson's, and we see it quite a bit with epilepsy being used, especially with the younger kids, like Charlotte Figge and people like that, who have found tremendous benefit in.
yeah, Charlotte's Web is supposed to be really good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
your
exactly.
son, because he doesn't want to smoke, is that what you said? He chooses not to? I mean, even does he know that it has these benefits, that it could help him?
He does, but he's
He's an adult
kind
and
of
he's able
stubborn.
to make his own decisions. Yeah, absolutely. But can
Yeah.
you sneak it?
Actually, because of the autism and other things going on, he is actually 9 or 10 in his head. So
Okay, so then do you have that kind of control then still?
yeah, I do have
Okay. Power of
him.
attorney? Yeah, because I take care of my sister who's special needs, so I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
She doesn't have any need for, I mean, I'd like to get her high. I think she'd be cool as shit, but I don't. But she doesn't need any marijuana for her lifestyle right now, so she's a good girl. She's clean and sober. But you know what I'm saying? Like, as the mom and the person, you technically get to make those decisions, and whether he knows it or not, you can make stuff for him to drink or for him to take where he might not notice it. And I don't know if he's sitting right.
But the thing is that
I know you wouldn't, and it's not right to, but you should be able to convince him. I feel like, you're the mom. He should, I mean, you want to give him his rights, of course, and make him feel as an adult, but it will help with his autism as well. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, has
he ever gotten high? Has he ever tried it ever?
He has tried it.
Oh, okay. So he's experienced. Maybe he just didn't like it, and yeah, maybe he just didn't like the high. Maybe I don't want to force anything on him. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
Now
that.
his brother enjoys marijuana. He likes sativas, and he's a big guy though, so he'll come in and like, that ain't gonna do it, Mom.
I need more.
I need more.
Yeah, but is he? When you say he's autistic, and my wife and I used to own an autism center, so I have a bit of knowledge in that field. Not very much. Like, I was a secretary for a little while. She ran. She did all the main stuff. I cleaned the building. I cleaned the building occasionally, but I listened to her and I learned a lot for the last 20 years, overall. But is he Asperger's, or is he? How functioning is he? High functioning, low functioning autism?
Both my kids are on the higher functioning. Asperger's has actually been wrapped up into the spectrum.
I get it. Yep, it's a whole big thing now. I get it.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's kind of a misnomer to say high functioning versus low functioning, because it implies a linear.
It's a whole line. I get it. Yep.
And it's not. It's more like a field. Like, whereas my younger son has deficits in one area, he has strengths that are, surpasses his brother in other areas. So it's just different people.
Two different people.
Autism is funny like that, isn't it? It has an interesting way of manifesting itself with different people. I've known a couple of people when I was growing up that were super genius in one area, like beyond anybody ever knew, with knowledge in a specific area, but then other areas was a struggle for them. You know what I mean? So it's very interesting the way autism works in some ways.
Well,
Right.
like I feel like everybody has a touch of it now. Like if you think about the way they have it labeled out, like ADHD, OCD, everything is under that umbrella in that spectrum of autism. So, I mean, we just need to accept it. And for certain people have better and worse cases, I guess you would say, right? I mean, I don't know.
We're all people. We just need to be nice to each other.
I agree with
absolutely. I mean, that's first and foremost, right? Is tolerance and compassion and understanding. That's, if the world had more of that, then it'd probably be a better place. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, Dr. Harris, who's been on with us a couple of times, and is Hippie's cannabis medical marijuana prescribing physician, has very positive opinions on the use of cannabis therapy for people with autism. He prescribes quite regularly, doesn't he, to
yeah, that's how I met him, actually that's how I met him. He was one of, I can't talk very much, but one of the patients my wife had met Dr. Harris, and then Dr. Harris and then my wife was talking to them about my crazy, and I guess that's how it all came through, and they were like, yeah, go to Dr. Harris and he can help with that crazy. He didn't do he helped it. Absolutely. I feel much better.
You can see the results now, can't you, Kim?
I'm crazy still, but it's a happier crazy. It's a happier crazy now.
This is post therapy.
This is better. I'm better now. He says so. My doctor says so.
And how has you, because you said that you used cannabis prior to your breaking your back. Right, as a creative inspiration, and it's kind of funny because yesterday I had posted about cannabis and creativity, and just kind of asking on Facebook whether people found that it did enhance their creativity or didn't, or whatever it was, and I'm quite sure it does for a lot of people.
I think that's where my last question was headed: is how does that sativa help with your son's creativity? Is he very creative with that sativa?
It's hard to describe my son, to be honest. He has he likes to draw, but he doesn't draw that much. I don't know. He likes his anime and his video games and his guns. He likes to put things together.
Now this is your 32-year-old or the 21-year-old?
32.
32 still home with you guys?
Always will be. I will be a forever nester.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm also
my mother, my wife wishes she could be.
Well, my mom passed away when we were fairly young. She was fairly young, I guess. I was in my 20s, and my wife and I got married and bought our house right after, I guess. And then my stepfather was like, "Yo, I'm done. Here she go." So I was like, I was going to take you to court anyway. That's why I bought the house, got ready to own a house so I could have a place for her to live, because she wasn't belong with you. So, because he wasn't a good guy. So I wanted her anyway, and he gave her to me. I was like, cool, now I don't have to go fight for her. And here she is. And she's been with me for the last 22 years, I guess, 22 years.
Yeah.
So I've been taking care of her for 22 years, we have to run our Zen Wushu moment. Do we have a Zen moment of the day today, Dr. Hai?
It's not a true Zen moment of the day. It's the promotional video that I'm putting together to try and get this Puff Puff Pass challenge out, because they didn't really have any new material early enough to get it together. But we'll run this. It's not fully completed yet, but just to see how it goes.
Yeah. Kim, do you have any clue what we're fucking talking about?
Brief.
A little idea. All right. At least you have a little idea. All right. So every day,
see it in the video.
Yeah, we do a video. Our friend Zen is an amazing creator on TikTok, and amazing creator on Facebook, and he's now moved over to TikTok, and he's going to take over the TikTok world with some of his creations. And we usually run something. It's always marijuana related, and we love him. So
he's a great advocate for cannabis.
Absolutely.
And a good one out there just trying to break the stigma. That's all.
Yeah, and that's what we're all about, breaking that damn stigma. So we'll be right back, and we're going to just watch a quick video. Run it, Beanbag. Oh, he says no. I got to wait another minute because we got to be perfectly on time with this guy.
That's why you got a producer to keep
I just want to say one thing, Beaner, Francis. It is not puff, 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 then hand it off. You greedy bastards. I was sitting there for 5 minutes waiting for you to hand it to me.
So really what we're trying to do here, Kim, is create a virtual session all over the world where everybody can smoke on their joint alone, but share it together, you know?
I love
I think that might be an interesting thing to do. So, yeah.
So we
it'll
would
be
like
a New Year's message to the cannabis family that we're happy to be a part of. So,
have you been following the declassification of cannabis as a Schedule 1 and where
yes.
Oh,
yeah, but I have my doubts about whether that'll happen or not. Just the other day, I can't remember whether it was 13 or 18 U.S. attorneys, so pretty powerful individuals, sent a letter to the DEA, and I believe it might have been the FBI or somebody else who's got control of this, but telling them that they believe that they should not reschedule cannabis. They want cannabis to remain a Schedule 1. They don't want it to be reduced to a Schedule 3. And their claim is that it'll make it more accessible to children.
Now, you know why? Is because it's big pharma.
Yes, absolutely.
It doesn't make sense to me that there is a medication out there that's been approved by the FDA and in use for a number of years, and yet they can still sit there and say that it has no medical use.
Yeah. No, it's really crazy. But that's the problem with cannabis in its entirety. I mean, whether you're speaking about cannabis as a medicine or hemp as a viable alternative to different types of products that are used now for plastics and petroleums and stuff like that. It is the companies that stand to lose market share
have attorneys
from this plant, right? They have the money, they have the attorneys, they have the power, because you don't get into office in America. Oops.
She said she had to fart.
We got political and Kim left.
She said she had to fart, I think.
Yeah.
She was like, I got gas. I don't know what happened. Kim, are you okay? All All right. Well, she was just a reminder. Doobies and Dragons will be on tonight instead of tomorrow. Don't miss out tonight. Find out. The only hero was me, if I remember correctly.
The only hero was me.
If I remember correctly, you two are dumbasses, getting us in trouble every time I turn around. All right, Kim is back. Thank God. I thought she got.
Hey, Kim.
Come on down, Kim. Maybe the beanbag can't see her. Do I got to do everything, beanbag?
Sorry, my.
Hey, Kim, how are you?
You don't ever have to be sorry. I just thought you got kidnapped. And what I last heard was I got gas. So I was like, oh, she had gas.
No, but I don't understand why. I mean, I do understand why. I don't agree with it. I understand why. You know, there are so many uses for THC medicinally that a lot of big pharma companies would be losing out on their share of.
They want us all to die. Damn it!
I saw that about 4 or 5 years ago, just as cannabis was approaching recreational legalization in Canada. It had already been legal medically for quite some time, but my wife is a nurse. Yeah. And she receives once a month from her union or association a magazine, right, that goes out telling them about new things that are coming up and stuff that is important to them. And 4 or 5 years ago, one of them was sitting on the counter. It just arrived, and I saw something about medical cannabis on the front. So I said, well, I'm curious, right? I'm going to read this. And in that article, it stated that medicinal cannabis could replace 63 different prescription medications. Mm-hmm. So 63 medications that are now prescribed would no longer need to be prescribed and could be replaced with the use of medical cannabis.
You know, I want to say something, Dr. High, and it's probably not gonna, I'm stoned and it's probably not going to make any sense, but you know, I worked in a hospital for many years in food service. And I want to say that a lot of hospitals, and including nurses and food service workers and all, are all part of unions. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like your union basically dictates how you're going to vote, and they try to change your opinion on things. So I could see nurses getting information, or in fact, food service workers getting information, depending on how their union felt about whatever, because they're the ones that are going to pay these guys to be politicians, I think, you know, like that's how it all comes. It comes down to unions and how they feel about it. And see, I'm stoned, so I don't know if that made any sense. But.
You know, there are different things, right? Like the association my wife was a part of offered three certificates for cannabis in nursing. You know what I mean? The therapeutic use of cannabis and how to, how to help patients navigate cannabis as a nurse. And she completed those 3 programs. So there are some places that are interested in, they understand, right? They understand that this is becoming more common.
But check this out. So I moved 6 months ago to a new area in California, and it's kind of a medical wasteland out here, where there's nobody out here. So
wasteland.
Yeah. So trying to find a neurologist to take care of me, it took me 4 months just to get an appointment with my primary care. Then on top of that, months before I could even see a neurologist. And I'm like, dude, I am unmedicated and do not have a caretaker. I don't have medication. Right. So I said, I'm going to start treating it with CBD. And she's like, oh, I wouldn't recommend that. And I'm like, then get me a neurologist.
Right.
And so I started taking CBD just to try and keep them at bay. But I had no prescriptions. I had no care. I had nothing. And they were just leaving me out in the wind. And I turned to cannabis because that's what I could get my hands on. And right. I knew it had, I knew it worked. I just didn't know which strain, whatever. I didn't know where to start.
Right.
But the disdain for it, the even here in California, from the medical professionals saying, oh, don't do that, putting their nose up in the air and saying that's a bad idea. It's stupid.
And what makes it even worse is that one of the very most important components of our physiology is the endocannabinoid system.
Mhm.
It regulates and maintains, or it's attempting to maintain balance always in the body, to maintain stasis. And that can be activated. And they said that there's a lot of sickness and illness that occurs because of the dysregulation inside the ECS, right? Inside the endocannabinoid system. So when we had Dr. Harris on, we were talking about that. And he said that only 17% of the schools, medical schools in the US, even teach the endocannabinoid system. It's only a part of the curriculum. It's 17%. Now, he thought that the last time he had looked at it was maybe 2018 or 17, and he said he thinks now it may have gone up to 20 or 22% of the schools that were touching on it. But really, this is, and I asked him, I said, how important is the endocannabinoid system? And he was like, it's one of the most important systems.
I think his exact. Don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure he said it's everything.
Yeah, or something very similar to that.
Yeah.
And they're not even teaching doctors about it. So how can we expect? I don't think that doctors are bad people or trying to keep it away from us. I think that they just won't move ahead and talk to people and suggest things to people that they don't understand themselves, right? Because they just don't understand it, so they don't feel comfortable in.
Then they need to make the effort to continue their education.
Yes.
I mean,
exactly.
If in the tech sector, which is where I was before I went art full time, you had to continually keep yourself up to date on the current technologies with web development and this app and that.
If you didn't, you'd fall behind, wouldn't you?
Right. So why
I am as lost as I am.
Yeah. No, that's the whole thing. So it really doesn't make sense. So you have to look beyond the surface to try and understand why it's like this. And then when we want to understand why, we can go back to the original, prohibition of cannabis back in the 30s and look at who was behind this when you had the DuPont family and people like that who couldn't compete with hemp. Or the emerging pharmaceutical industry, which there wasn't much of. All the medications back before 1900 were cannabis, opioid, or cocaine based, pretty much. You know what I mean? So
and then I wonder if the declassification of marijuana to a Schedule I would need them to visit who had been arrested for those offenses and release them. And if losing those people in the prison system because there's a work program.
We were talking about that the other day, how much money they make per prisoner, right?
Right. So if they have to let these people go,
if they got to get rid of them.
I was actually incarcerated in the United States for cannabis related offenses. 10 years I served over there. I'm a Canadian citizen, but I was involved with a group of individuals, and they were moving cannabis into the United States. So I got caught up in this conspiracy, and I had to serve a 10-year sentence over there for this.
Oh, shit.
But part of
your resume
my sentencing was they wanted, not only did they want restitution of $4.5 million, but they wanted me to pay the cost of my own incarceration. The Department of Justice actually sent me an invoice for $24,900 for my first year of incarceration. I put a very nice message in Sharpie on that invoice and mailed it right back to them, and I told them exactly what they could do for their money.
They could boof it.
They wanted me to pay that cost. So if they're asking me to pay $25,000 to support my own incarceration for the year, that means that for every inmate in the system, there's $25,000 that's going to corrections officers, to facilities, to things like that. So there's a big business in there.
Mhm.
You know,
Well, not only that, but they use prisoners to do work for companies. It's like why, you know, it's hard. It is hard to find a job. I'm not going to get flack for that because you know we have for hire signs everywhere around town. I'll give you that.
And everything we say here is make believe anyway. So
that's why we have a disclaimer.
that being said, we have to run a commercial because the beanbag's giving me the middle finger again down there. Beaner, stop giving me the finger, damn it. Let's roll it.
Have you ever pondered cannabis beyond the haze? Would you like to know more about this incredible plant? Dive into Doktor.com, unlock medical wonders, master home-based crafts, and debunk myths. Do you support our mission? Shop Dr. High AI Haze on Etsy for cannabis-themed clothing, mugs, and digital downloads using original AI cannabis art. Hell, we might even have some psychedelic mushroom items there too. We also have 25 books on cannabis and specific medical conditions available at Dr. High on Amazon.com. DrHigh.com, cannabis information, education, and advocacy.
Announcing CBGTV's Bud Break book. Get your copy now. Detailed strain reviews. Every purchase supports the ongoing efforts of CBGTV. Available from Amazon and at cbgtv.com or scan the QR code.
Say bye-bye to bottled water. Holistic Health Water has certified medical-grade water ionizers that make 7 types of water, including healthy alkaline. There's a 5-micron filter that lasts up to a year, and each machine lasts 25 to 30 years. Simply attach to your faucet or install under your sink. Even get a mineral spa unit for your shower. Go to ownyourwater.org to get a free ebook. Plus, pay for any machine in full and get an extra filter free. Change your water and change your life. Ownyourwater.org.
Discover the natural path to wellness at Tailored Herbs and Concentrates.
Herbs?
With a passion for holistic health, we are your trusted source for premium herbs and concentrates.
Wait a minute, do they have weed?
Our dedicated team is here to guide you on your wellness journey. Open 7 days a week, 10 to 10, ensuring you have access to what you need when you need it most. Tailored Herbs and Concentrates is located
at pot
2941 Highway 11, Burnt Church, New Brunswick, Canada. If you need assistance anytime,
I need weed.
Just call 506-871-4299. Tailored Herbs and Concentrates.
Where all the potheads go.
WTHC, we are back. Thank you guys so very much. We are having a kick-ass rocking time with our friend Kim down there. Don't forget, Tailored Herbs and Concentrates has got a deal every single day of the week. They are open from 10 in the morning until 10 p.m. If you are up in that Burnt Church, New Brunswick, Canada area, head on over to Tailored Herbs and Concentrates. Today is Double Stamp Tuesday. That's right. Head on in, get your card stamped twice, and get a free Moon Rock joint. That's right. Go on in and get a free Moon Rock joint. Just get your card stamped twice. Might have to do something dirty. I don't know what you got to do to get the card stamped twice, but that being said, they also have
you got to get ink on your fingers. That's what you got to do.
Yeah. And you got to also tell them the strain of the day, which is Planet of the Grapes today. Go on in and tell them Planet of the Grapes, and you're going to get a free pre-roll, no purchase necessary, and no sexual favors. That's Tailored Herbs and Concentrates in Burnt Church, New Brunswick, Canada. Head on over today. No good, Dr. Hyde. That was a bad one.
What was?
That commercial. I tried to do my best. I shouldn't have said no sexual favors. I got to do
Well, you know, fortunately, you've kept it under wraps today so far. So,
yeah, well, I try to keep it under wraps. Sometimes it comes out. Sorry, Kim. I'm trying to order new panties now. It's early. I was in the middle of talking. Why isn't there a video?
I want to give a shout out to calligraphy. My dude means little homie Noriega.
No more. All right.
Just Rossi, Jack the Apostle, the League.
Smoke 'em if you got 'em. Big buzz till little crumbs broke up in the bottom. Feel like autumn leaves falling. Only problem needs solving is seeing who I'm calling for some trees to indulge in. Need to holler at Billy, he keep his head in the cloud. Bel Air Kush by the bush, wow. Screaming loud, still smoking, having nice dreams floating through space. So when they ask me how high, my reply, I'm half-baked. Sir, smoke a lot. Doctor said I need a backiotomy. Prescribe me huckleberry and lemon cherry gelato, G. I take it back to rolling in the Optimo. Blowing smoke out my nose, dropping ashes on my clothes till I doze off. I'm so fried, no lie. Got you afraid of heights, scared to look down, you so high. Cause when I spit that shit, it's like I lit that shit in the crowd. Pass it around and let you hit that shit. Weed is all I need. Smoke that weed is all I breathe. Smoke down leaves. Roll up in the leaf for my relief. I'm in love with the THC. Roll that shit, lick that shit, burn it. Roll that shit, lick that shit, burn it. Roll that shit.
Rumor has it it's the Ohio State anthem now. What I heard.
Roll that shit, lick that shit, burn it. Roll that shit, lick that shit, burn it. Roll that shit, lick that shit, burn it. Good sunshine in my pocket on a Sunday stroll. Homie got the rap, give me the sack, let the good times roll. Therapy, earth, body, and soul. World, give me beef, Bel Air Kush, give me mental control. L lit, back roll, 5 hats told. The studio we roll, bring relief. We the music, all I need to know. Healthier than pill pop. Mother, give me herbs that fill spots. Medication, can't do a kill shot.
I wanted to say hi to Jeremiah too. Jeremiah, I didn't want to cut them off.
Mary Jane, a reservation. Here, 23, raise your hands and liberation. Celebration, history free from information. Stand up, provide the right education. Show love, holistic cloud, politic throughout the nation. Making the state the paint and Billy Blunt stash, flavor, taste the weed. Weed is all I need. Smoke that weed. Weed is all I breathe. Broke down leaves.
Collins invested to the beanbags because
roll that shit, lick that shit, burn it. 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 Roll that shit, lick that shit.
Shit, I got it.
all right. I'm passing it to CJ. All right, we were passing it. Welcome back, everybody. WTHC. Good afternoon. It's 1:23 over here on the East Coast. I'm in the Poconos, and it's 27 degrees. Did you guys get snow?
Snow?
Yes.
we got some snow this morning.
Yeah, I ended up with like 3 inches, and then I woke up and I looked out the window.
Just a dusting. No snow there in California where you are, Kim? Are you in Southern California or Northern or?
I'm in Central California on the coast.
You're in Central. So you won't see snow unless something bizarre occurs.
What's
right.
When the apocalypse happens.
Which, of course, with the climate the way it is these days,
right.
There's a potential for weather anywhere of any kind, you know?
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
No,
So-
or getting some rain today.
See, that's the other kind of crazy thing is hemp could really go a long way to reversing a lot of the climate issues that we have because of its ability to capture carbon. You know what I mean? Its ability to be a food source. There's so many things that can be done with it.
Yeah.
You know what my son said? He would prefer to eat hemp than what they serve as lunch in the school.
Yeah.
He said hemp would be a better choice. And that he was being facetious, I think.
It would definitely be a better choice nutritionally.
He didn't care.
That's
He
for
said
sure.
anything's better than the cardboard shit they serve them. They said doesn't even belong with prisoners. Prisoners don't deserve better food than this. He says it's got to be the same shit they serve.
Not according to the Bureau of Prisons, we don't.
Well, according to my son, he says that whatever you guys are eating in prison is the same stuff that they're eating in his school.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just haven't figured out how to turn it into like something delicious like you guys figure it out. Like they don't put it in the toilet first or whatever you guys do.
Yeah. That was the wine they made in the
Oh,
toilet.
hooch. I'm sorry, right?
Yeah, that was the wine they made in the toilet. But
So, Kim, I am so thankful that you've come by today and hung out with us. What else? I mean, so how do we talk? I'm pretty persuasive. Can I have a couple minutes with your son? I want to try to convince him that marijuana is the way, and that will help him.
the thing is,
How often does he have seizures? Are you the way I think you were saying pretty often, right? Like,
Yeah, I mean he's it's not as frequent as it used to be. He's sleeping. He's sleeping.
yeah, you don't have to. Yeah, don't wake him up. No, I was just kidding.
Oh, check this out. He's
the thing is in order to, there are different components, right? And some of
he's sleeping.
Some of healing
She's in
occurs
there. Oh, look, there he is.
mentally. Oh, he's out.
Oh, you little baby. That's the younger one?
Yeah.
All right. So go ahead, Dr. High. I didn't mean to cut you off, but he was sleeping. I didn't want you to wake up.
Well, what I'm saying is that, although cannabis does have some physiological benefit, some of the benefit of medication is your psychology also, right? Is your belief that this medication is going to work too, because there's a big psychological component to healing and to wellness. So if Kim's son's not interested in cannabis, trying to convince him to be interested in cannabis isn't necessarily
going to
be
I didn't know
beneficial
this was
anyway.
turning into a speech about me, bucko. I didn't know you were trying to turn this around on me.
Well, I'm just saying, right? Like you have to, people have to be open to this as a potential therapy to, I think, experience the
I
true
get
benefit.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. I'm picking up what you're putting down. But I just feel like I'm so passionate about how much it can help people. And unfortunately, I haven't heard anything from my friend about yesterday what we were talking about with his friend in 6 to 8 weeks or 6 to 8
right.
Yeah. I haven't heard anything. I haven't had a chance though. I've been fairly busy. But anyway, back to the seizures and stuff like that. So they've slowed down, Kim, dramatically, or
yeah, he's having them maybe once or twice a month now. So it's gone down quite.
That's fantastic. Yeah, because
And
did that only change once the Epidiolex was introduced into his treatment?
That was one of the big. I'm just going to sit in here because it's anyway. That's when the big change happened, when the frequency.
Okay.
So
before that, how many was it? How often? Once a week? Once a day? Because I know people can have them once a day.
Oh, he'd have them multiple times a day.
Yeah, that's amazing that he's down. That is just proof right there.
And that's got to be really hard on the body, and it's got to be hard on the mind too, right?
God,
because
they are so exhausted, and they're like, oh my God.
He's lost. Okay, personally, I had a seizure and lost. I forget 6 months worth of memory.
Really?
Gone. Yeah.
Wow.
And after the seizure I had last year, because I can't really speak to him, but I do see that there's damage that's happened in memory, and there's just a whole bunch of other things that I wonder how much damage was caused by the seizure itself, how much damage was caused by the fall, and
the hitting of your head.
Yeah. He would frequently have them in the seizure, and in the shower, and one of them he hit his head on the toilet so hard that he broke the toilet, and it was leaking into the apartment below us.
Oh wow.
So how
I'm no doctor, but maybe it
is.
Yeah,
how much force was involved in that impact, right? Like
right.
A tremendous amount for sure. Porcelain is pretty sturdy. The toilet is. It's thick,
Can I interrupt for a second?
No.
What about thinking of this? I'm no doctor, like I said, but I am a physician's assistant. What about the temperature of the water as a trigger to leading to seizures? If
it's interesting, brought that up because my sister had done some research on that, and in the Middle East they would give in more impoverished areas they would give baths by pouring water over kids as they sit in
Cold
buckets.
water, usually, probably
And
cold water.
well, it would. I forget which way it was, but there were more seizures happening as a result of that, and so we adjusted the temperature of the shower to try and accommodate for that. But
okay, so you looked into that.
yeah, and so even at that though, which the doctors told us we were full of shit, and of course
you never know. You can't trust them, those dumbass, because they went to school a couple years. I don't trust none of them fuckers.
But what we end up having to do now is he showers less frequently, which but when he does shower, which he has to
turn into a man now, though, young lady. Woof.
Oh yeah, but his brother will, because of body modesty, and he's an adult and everything. His brother will be in the bathroom monitoring his shower, being in auditory contact. Are you okay? And if he hears
things,
you
feel, you're all right. Yeah. You
so
guys got to work together as a family, especially. You're a single mom now.
Yep.
Dad's no longer here, right? He moved on,
he passed away 11 years ago.
I'm so sorry.
That's what happened when they get you addicted to opioids, and then the insurance and doctors decide to cut you off.
Yeah, they say we're done with you. Unfortunately,
and then you're forced to
move to the wrong things. Yeah, unfortunately, that's the fucking bullshit. That's the shit we're talking about.
He had a stroke and ended up in a nursing home, not just a shell of a person. Literally, he was not there anymore.
It's absolutely sickening.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry for you and for the boys and for your husband. Absolutely. That's horrible. Oh my God. So these boys now, it's just the three of you. So you guys have to work together, and you're a mom, so it's kind of awkward. So thank God that you have a second man in the house who can help with each other. They can help each other. And goodness that they're both high functioning enough to help with each other and understand what's going on to an extent, I'm sure, I'm so happy to hear that he is cut down so drastically. That is fantastic news. See, but it always concerned me because my friend was a big marijuana user all of our lives for basically 13, 14, right when he started having the seizures. And so I was always concerned that weed wouldn't be a part of it. But after learning from Dr. High all the different types of ways and the CBNs and the CBGs and the this and the that, putting that all together, there are ways that it can help with just about everything, I feel. It helps.
How do you consume your cannabis, Kim?
Edibles.
That you're using to deal with your pain? Are you smoking joints or pipe, or are you taking oils, or?
I'm using edibles.
Edibles?
Just because I can control the
dosage.
amount of the dosage, so that I know how much I'm taking and what's helping.
Right. So you can track it, right? Do you journal your experience? Like, do you keep track of each product that you buy, the dose you take?
I saw you laugh, and I heard that would be what?
One hell of a journal.
Yeah. No, but I mean, sometimes I always believe that as a medical patient, because there's so much diversity in product out there, and it's very hard to get consistency.
Yeah.
And the thing is that there's approaching 3,000 different strains of cannabis. So that means there are different terpene components in every one. And then even if you go to the same grower who's growing the same strain, each subsequent harvest can actually be different.
Yeah,
there'll be similarities, but the numbers won't match, right?
Yeah, I tend to lean towards live resins and based edibles, and I should pay closer attention to the terpenes that are in the particular ones that I do buy to see, if I can narrow down which ones do better for me.
That's where the magic happens, right? Is in the terpenes. I mean, you have the cannabinoids too, and that makes a difference. But the thing is that you'll find that the majority of cannabis that's tested will have very, very little minor cannabinoids present, right? You'll always find THC because that's what they breed it for. That's the commercial market, right?
Mm-hmm.
CBD is starting to increase because they spent 30 years trying to breed the CBD out of cannabis because there was no benefit to it. And now that they're finding the medicinal benefit of CBD, there are breeders who are working, like the people who bred Charlotte's Web for Charlotte Figge. They did that specifically, worked with genetics to try and bring up the CBD and bring a better balance into that particular strain, right?
Right.
But the terpenes, they've been studied for a lot longer because they occur in many things in nature. You know, limonene and pinene and beta-caryophyllene and limonene, they all occur in other plants. So they have been studied for their medicinal benefits or how they interact with our physiology. So by keeping track of the terpenes that are present, you can have probably a greater amount of success in narrowing down the type of terpenes you want to have in your medicine because those ones actually work for you, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's definitely something I should start doing. But the other thing that I find is that, you know, depending on the dispensary I go to, it's difficult to find the same brand, the same. I mean, there are some.
That was what I was going to ask you. You and I both have a friend over here that she owns a kitchen, and I was wondering if you knew your own grower, or you know, like, do you go to the same part, or do you go to a dispensary? And it's got to be very difficult. I don't. See, I understand Dr. High and everything he's saying about the whole journaling thing, but it's just I smoke too much to be journaling like that. I mean, I don't know. It's like it's too much, too much.
Well,
I need a secretary just to journal for me.
I tend to reserve my use depending on what I'm doing. If I'll take small you know, doses of sativas during the day if I'm painting, but if I'm woodworking, nothing.
All right, I'm sorry.
Right.
I have to. I'm raising my hand because that made me think of a question I wanted to ask like an hour ago that disappeared. Do you use your marijuana for more for your pain or more for your seizures?
More for pain.
For pain. See, okay, because I heard you say that earlier that you use it like microdosing, and I would say that's, you know, that wouldn't be for. I don't know what I would say, but you know, I was interested.
Well, I have a neurologist now, so I'm trying some medication that he gave me, and it's actually not doing too bad. This neurologist is promoting me doing yoga and meditation, and I appreciate that.
My next question is: this neurologist on the same path? Because I've seen, and we may have touched on this, but our friend Kelly had reached out to her shrink. She's nuts like me. She reached out to her shrink and told her shrink for the first time that she was smoking marijuana, and the shrink gave her the 1-2, called her a dumb, told her, "Are you a drug addict? Are you crazy?" And I told her to tell that shrink to go fuck herself.
Right.
She can take her practice and boof it, as far as I'm concerned. And Kelly has moved on and found a new shrink who supports the fact that she takes marijuana as a medicine.
I'm not getting any pushback on that. So he is aware, and he's not saying anything negative, but he's kind of glossing over it. So there's not.
All right, Martin, you're hired.
It just becomes a non-issue, right? He doesn't want to actually get into the conversation, but he doesn't give you any kind of pushback on the fact that you're using it as part of your therapy.
I mean, if he's into that yoga stuff, I feel like he's into that mind and body health that way. So, you know, he might not smoke himself, but he ain't frowning upon it.
Right. And I appreciate that. And so, yeah, I use it a lot for the pain. So, you know, I do end up with a lot of pain I fractured my T12 actually having a seizure. I fell.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
what sort of dose is right for you? Like, let's say, what kind of dose do you take when you want to be creative? And then how is that different from what you're using as to manage pain?
It depends on if I've gone on hiatus at all. If I've gone on a hiatus at all, I'm really sensitive, and so I can do 5 milligrams to during the day to be creative, and 10 will just alleviate any pain, and I'll just sit there in the corner giggling.
Yeah, that's
but
perfect though.
yeah,
Jealous.
but my son, he made brownies, and I said, get me one of them brownies, and so he cuts me a brownie, and I swear to God it was this big, and I'm like, dude, how much,
How potent is that, right?
how potent is that? And
Did you say that too? Like how much is in here?
I'm like, what? Let's figure it out. He goes, I don't know. I'm like, let's figure it out. How much is in this pan of brownies? And he goes, probably about 600 something. And I'm like, okay, let's divide that up down to what you gave me. And it turned out what he gave me was about 40.
Right.
Okay.
And you felt that if 10 is a
40, yeah,
is a pain management dose for you,
10
40 was very strong.
You probably were asleep. You might have overdosed.
You're buying pre-made canna butter, or is your son making it from flour?
No, we buy pre-made canna butter at the
Your dispensary has that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
You know how it's much easier to control your dose, Kim? Instead of buying pre-made canna butter, buy a syringe of THC distillate.
Okay.
So if you buy THC distillate, you're going to have anywhere between 800 and about maybe 930 milligrams of THC in that syringe. So let's say you're doing a cookie recipe, and you know that this particular batter will make 24 cookies. And you want those cookies to be 10 milligrams each. You would use basically 1/4 of that syringe, which you would just simply be able to put directly into your warmed butter.
Okay.
It will emulsify very, very quickly. And then you have a really accurate dosing pathology. Like, it's more difficult, even at the dispensary level, it's very difficult for them to get a very specific dose if they're creating canna butter from flour. Because there's loss in the process. So you might test the flour out at 25 or 28%, but you may not be actually extracting all that amount, or they, you know what I mean? Different labs, when they test, depending on their methodology, come back with different results too. So even the dispensary may not know exactly the potency, and it's much more difficult. So controlled dosing is much easier done with THC distillate.
That's interesting. I've watched Carrie work, and it's a little daunting.
If you know Carrie, then I mean, Carrie knows her business. She came on the show one day with us, and
she's coming back, Carrie.
Absolutely knows what's going on. So if you have Carrie as an advisor, you'll be doing just fine.
Yeah, Carrie knows her shit. She'll be coming back soon. I'm hoping. She's got another big one coming up. This last one was an underground one.
Well, you know, Carrie taught us about how to do nano-emulsification at home also.
Oh, okay.
Which makes your cannabinoids water soluble. So you could actually go through the process of doing a nano-emulsification with tapioca maltodextrin.
That wasn't
and some oil. So you infuse the oil with your THC, and then you take that oil and you mix it with tapioca maltodextrin, and it brings it into a water-soluble form. So you could actually dose anything you're preparing to eat, any food, and controlled dosing done by the teaspoon. You know what I mean? Sprinkle it on, and it becomes emulsified into, you know, if you're making a smoothie, if you're making a spaghetti sauce, if you're making a soup, so many different ways you can use it.
It's in there.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See if my dispensary do they carry the distillates, or do you have to get?
Good.
In California, you should be able to access it. If you can't get it through, I don't know in California whether they have specific medicinal dispensaries as opposed to recreational dispensaries, or if you have one dispensary that handles everybody's needs, right?
Both, yeah.
Right. So
we'll figure that out when we come back from this commercial break. We got Beanbag's down there yelling at me again for crying out.
Yeah, absolutely. You'd be able to find it though, Kim.
Okay.
Yeah, and I wanted to say thank you again. Run it, Beanbag!
Badger Heart Puppetry. Badger Heart Puppetry. Badger Heart Puppetry. If you need some kick-ass puppets, contact Forge at 1-636-234-1535. He has all your puppet needs. He can fix puppets, build puppets, custom-made puppets. He has puppets off the rack for cheap prices. Contact Forge today at 1-636-234-1535 or on TikTok or Facebook at Badger Heart Puppetry. He also makes LARPing items too.
Are you in the Ellensville or Middletown, New York area? Revamp your space with Collins Paints Ltd. Ugly walls? Let Collins Paints Ltd. add a splash of color to your world. Collins Painting is a veteran-owned and operated business. They can transform your space to whatever your heart desires. Say goodbye to the boring beige and hello to possibilities of bright and vibrant colors. The Collins Painting team are a group of skilled professional painters who will turn your vision into reality. Call Collins Paint Ltd. today to get a fast and easy quote. Available Monday through Fridays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call them at 845-869-8176.
Hey, Mrs. Hippie, why don't we take a ride to Dauphin, PA today?
Dauphin? What's in Dauphin?
Bella's Badass Crystals.
Oh, but I thought you hang out with them on Facebook and on TikTok.
That's only on Mondays, Tuesdays, Saturdays, Sundays. Today I want to go there and pick up all my great finds.
That sounds like a great road trip. That's Bella's Badass Crystals on TikTok and Facebook, but you can also find them at the top of the mountain in Dauphin, PA.
They are badass.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Are you looking to have some crocheted made by hand stuff like your Grammy used to do for you? Then you need to check out You Have Me Hooked 23 on Etsy and TikTok. Vern can do what you need. She crochets hats, she crochets animals, everything, anything you may need. She also makes vinyl stickers, banners for your business. Anything that you might want that she can do, she can definitely do it for you. Want an I Hate My Ex sticker? She's got you covered. Anything, and I mean anything that you may need. She has cheap and reasonable prices. Check her out. You Have Me Hooked 23 on Etsy and TikTok.
Hi, we're back. Welcome back, WTHC. I was jamming out, listening to very
looks like you're about to get stormy there, Kim.
Yeah, I went to the beach.
She went to the beach. I see. It looks a little cloudy.
Yeah.
Are you expecting rain?
Yeah, it's been raining for a couple days.
Nice.
Yeah. It's beautiful here, though.
Yeah. I've been to the beach with Kim a couple times since we've it's her go relax place where she needs time. Yeah.
Well, it's nice to be able to do that without a parka and snow boots and a scarf.
Right.
Yeah, it must be nice.
It's just beautiful hair.
Yeah, actually, when it comes to making your own preparations, working from isolates or distillates in CBD isolate, you can really custom prepare your things quite well,
Okay, yeah, that sounds.
and save a lot of money.
There's a key.
Yeah.
Now, does your oldest is the one that partakes a little more often than the younger one, right?
Yeah.
Now, does he recognize dose? Yeah, I guess you said that, right? He said I'm going to need a little more, Mom.
Yeah, he's 6'1". He's about 360-ish.
Yeah.
So,
all right. So he's like me. Yeah, about my size. Yeah. I have no effect. Unfortunately, edibles don't work on me at all. So I mean, I don't. There are people out there who it don't work on, but he does get off eventually with a certain amount. What's his?
Oh yeah.
What's his max?
I think he does well with like 20 starts to affect him. He feels comfortable at 20.
Yeah. And then he gets his creative, whether he's playing his games or whatever, and it helps. Now, does he doesn't have seizures, right?
Nope. He just has autism and anxiety.
Anxiety, but that's probably just part of the autism. That's just part. I think that's part of it.
Well, autism comes comorbid with a lot of different things. Autism never shows up by itself.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna say I want to say thank you so very much for being here and hanging out with us today. It has been a lot of fun. I can't thank you enough for joining us, Dr. High. What do you want to say, bro? I can't hear. It's very loud.
Yeah, I appreciate your time today, Kim. It was a pleasure speaking with you. Interesting to know. I always like talking to people who are having firsthand experiences with cannabis medicine, especially when we're talking about things as serious as epilepsy and seizures, and hearing firsthand the benefits, and the fact that your son has shown a lot of improvement with the inclusion of Epidiolex is really great to know for a fact. So thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Oh, it was a pleasure.
Absolutely. And I was going to say the exact same thing. Thank you for sharing your story with us and allowing us to know a little more about you and how you use and your family uses marijuana and other extracts, I guess, to help with the battles of every day. And I wish you nothing but success. And I'll see you in the Discord in a little while, sweetie.
Absolutely.
All right. I love you. Thank you so
Thanks,
very much.
Kim.
All right.
Have a great day.
We're going to take you down. Have a great day. Guys, thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I mean, we have a couple more minutes, Dr. High. You don't have to wrap it up yet, but the wind was it was very loud in my ear. So.
Well, actually, you've gotten quite quiet, too.
I'm sorry. Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
No, maybe my mic.
Yeah, you had gone the whole conversation had gone very quiet. So
that's because you took over and you were talking a lot.
Huh.
So we don't forget tonight we have Doobies and Dragons at 8:00 on the East Coast. That's 7, 6, 5 o'clock on the West Coast. We got don't forget about tailored herbs and concentrates. If you're up in that area, please head in there, stop by and say hello. Tell them Da.Hippie sent you, and the strain of the day is Planet of the Grapes. And get your card stamped twice for a free Moon Rock pre-roll and do all that good stuff. Don't forget their contest is ending, Dr. Hyde. Did you make your bong yet?
No.
Are you gonna?
Thursday's my shopping day for Christmas.
All right, so pick up the shit.
I haven't done any of that sort of thing, but I'm very unlikely to make a gingerbread bong.
Come on, dude.
I sent Garrett a picture of the one I did make, though.
You did?
He just never got it on the screen.
He's a slacker. He's down there like, I don't know what you're even talking about.
Yeah, I think it was.
Can you see
it
down there?
Santa that was smoking on it.
Dr. High, you can't see Garrett down there, can you?
Nope.
You can't see Katie down there?
Nope.
You can't see me down there?
Nope.
That's so weird. I can see everybody.
I can't.
I hate it. I have to look at the beanbag every time I look down there. Oh, Katie's going to build one with her cousin and her aunt.
Nice. Well, I can only imagine how nice Katie's would be, right? With all that artistic talent.
It'll be lighting up. Music will be playing out of the fucking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, my goodness. You guys might as well quit now. Katie's getting involved. She just won. I don't know if it's official. We're waiting on the official results, but she just won some major award from China or Japan or somewhere.
Oh, very cool.
She won first place. She built a park bench. She built a bench. I don't want to talk for her. Come on up here, Katie, if you don't mind, and tell everybody how wonderful you are.
Yeah, it was last week, Garrett, that email. Katie, how are you?
Hi,
Katie,
how you doing?
yes,
It was
how's
great
everything?
to see Kim. That was so good.
Good.
Yes, wonderful.
It looks smoky where you are.
Yeah, it's me.
What's going on over there?
Me.
He's taking. So Katie built a park bench. I want you to tell everybody a little bit about your park bench.
Okay, I built a solar-powered park bench. It was a prototype. It's not like the completed model. It was a prototype to demonstrate to the city of Albuquerque the potential we have if we were to install this kind of park bench design that is solar powered and makes a good hub for fiber, for fiber cables to endpoints for fiber to run, so the public could have Wi-Fi access and people could charge their smart devices wireless.
Oh, right from the. I was thinking you were gonna say that it lights up the pathway or something, but it can use it to charge devices and everything.
Bench that was also a work of fine art. So
Yeah,
I poured the bench seat with resin. Oh, actually, I wonder if we can run a video.
That's pretty cool.
Find it real
We're on
quick.
a restricted time limit here, but if you can
Oh,
find
okay.
Let's see.
Oh, it's like a 3-minute video. I don't know if we have time for that.
cutting it close, then yeah, we might have to wait till tomorrow.
I'll
But,
post the video link in the comments, and if people are curious about the bench,
oh my
they
God!
can watch
But
it.
I want to tell them about what you won and how, and you won.
Well, I
first.
don't know what the prize is right now. I entered
well-
the bench in the U.S.-China Young
$1
Makers
million.
competition.
No,
No. I don't even
see-
know what place I won.
So you entered it in. Say it again. You entered it in the what?
The U.S.-China Young Makers competition.
Did they realize that you were in your young 30s? Does that still count?
Yes.
Okay.
40 is the cutoff age.
Oh, 40 is the cutoff. All right.
Yes,
All right.
yes.
I didn't know
was
if
an
it was
old
like
fart in the
if
contest.
it was like for teens or something, and you snuck yourself in with a fake ID. What do everybody? Hello? Is everybody okay? Oh, all right.
Yeah, no, it was just a picture, Garrett.
All right.
Just a joke.
All right, guys. Everybody, I want to thank you so much, Katie. Congratulations. I hope you won first place. You deserve it. You're a freaking genius. We love you.
Yeah.
Beanbag, you're okay. Everybody else, have a great day. Thank you so much for hanging out. Stick around for Utopia. I'm going over to Clapper and I'm going to get frisky. So stick around, everybody. We'll be back. Thank you so much, Dr. High. I love you.
Have a good day, everybody.
Run it,
Be safe and stay still.
Sticky green, just hang with me, and in one day we'll smoke more than you've ever seen. It's colder when it's hot, you know we smoke lots of pot every single day.